just different places. And
Can you tell about the story you told us last night about going to pick the berries when you needed shoes for school?
hmm earlier I had mentioned that we didn't work all year long in the crops, but we did occasionally because our mom and dad's paycheck was very little. I mean, he worked full time, but I
What did
still
he do?
remember his paychecks, and he would bring home for a family of 9, $42 or $44 a week.
What was it that he did?
He worked in a foundry here in Muskegon, and whatever he did well because he worked for 44 years for them. And it was a very steady job. So mom would do all kinds of things. She would, anything to supplement, wash clothes, iron clothes. She'd bake donuts. We'd sell donuts to the neighbors, to whoever wanted to buy them. And mom somehow was ingenious about making donuts. I don't even know how she learned to make them, but she did. And we, the children, would shovel snow. And when we found out that picking crops, blueberries, apples, plums, whatever it was, would make us a little money, well, we took to that. I said, yeah, we'll go out and work. And I said, how much do you need to make? And mother would figure out, okay, Olga needs shoes for school, Albino needs shoes for school. And shoes cost, what, at that point, $14 or $15 for each one. So we need $100 this week. And we need to buy slips and calzones and all kinds of things. So how much do we need for that? Well, we need another $100. Okay, so this week everybody works real hard. We'll make $200, and that money went right into the bank. And on the way home, whether it was cash or whatever, we'd always stop at the bank and put it in. So I thought that was great. And the guy at the bank would say, "Well, where are you guys getting this money?" I said, "We're working for it." Viniendo todos cochinos and sweaty from picking whatever it was. And we had the same bank for such a long time. He got to know us and know my mother. And mom knew everything. She knew how much interest it was going to draw, and I didn't even know about interest at the time. And she'd say, "Well, how come that's not on you?" And she'd say, "Oh, Mrs., we forgot to put it in." "Okay. How much was it?" And he'd say, "It wasn't much. It was only about $10 or whatever." And she says, "Well, to me, $10 is a lot. I mean, children have to work for 4 or 5 hours to make $10, $15, $20. And I want it in there." And so she was real smart about money stuff and finances. So we, come September or whatever month it was, whatever we needed, Albino needed, played football and wrestling, so needed equipment. And she was ingenious. She would say, "Well, anybody else in your school playing?" And then she'd call their parents, "You have any used equipment left over, the pads, the shoulder, whatever he needed?" "Oh yeah, we can sell it to you for 50 cents or $1. "Oh yeah, well, I'll pick it up." "No, we could drop it off." But mom was real ingenious about that. And
Can you talk more? Do you feel comfortable talking more about your mother's death and passing? And
yeah, I think my mother,
can you say her name again?
my mother, Maria Rodriguez Villa, was a very interesting lady because she didn't receive much education. I think she went up to about the 5th or 6th grade. That's what we assumed because she talks about that. She talked about that, how important school was. She was adamant for school. I mean, we'd have to be dragging and not having any legs, and not, the school would have to close down for us not to go to school. She didn't care if it was cold. You gotta go. You can't miss a day. If you miss a day, then you go the next day, and you miss that day learning, and you wouldn't be able to catch up. And when people would say, "No, I don't like school," that was like giving her the worst curse in the world, because she would always be so adamant about us going to school. So much so that when she passed, I was at the hospital with her, and the last thing she says, "Olga, your brother says I have to go to school. They all have to graduate from my school." And I don't know if you guys are going to have enough money to go to college, but I want you guys to go to college. I think too what I learned from that experience was that there's a thing of being educado and having education. And as I grew older, I learned from my friends. Oh, my parents don't want me to come home because they think I'm too educated and they can't talk to me and I can't talk to them. I never found that to be true. I could always talk to my parents, and then I would say, "Ay, mi hija tan bien educada," but I learned the difference. That it's not a. If you try to use your education over somebody,